Hello, welcome back to another episode of Cocktails and Controllers. This is episode 6, I think. Let's just go with that, and if it's the wrong number, then oh well. This week we are covering No More Heroes, which is a game that was released for Nintendo Wii. Personally, I actually haven't played the game because I don't have a Wii. So I watched the playthrough of it. I'll link the playlist down below, the one that I watched. So you can experience what I experienced. Marisa has played the full game, so she's more knowledgeable on this than I am. I am relying on playthrough knowledge and the Wikipedia articles that I went through. What are we drinking?
I again have Coke mixed with the peanut butter whiskey that you gave me, and then shot-wise, I ran out of Fireball. And so anyway, I have Malibu. A little bit left. A really, really tiny bit left. But I did find my Zarya shot glass, nice. So that made a return.
This week I've got my regular Coke, but I am doing a macadamia nut Kahana Royale. I think that's how you pronounce it. Probably not how you pronounce it, but it's in a little mini glass because Marisa got it for me for my birthday with a bunch of other little alcohols that I am going to make my way through and then shadow box them when they're done. By the way, I took a sip. It tastes super good. And then for my shot, I'm doing the Captain Morgan Apple Smash because I could not find the watermelon one. So that'll be my next drink if I find it and I finish this apple. But it's an odd green color, which makes me slightly uncomfortable that it's green. But oh well. Also, it tastes really good because I shot earlier and it tasted nice.
We should do a day where we both have Starfuckers and then die.
We should. Dude, we should do it. Our first live show, actually, in the same room together, we'll do Starfuckers.
Yeah. If no one knows what a Starfucker is, it's Red Bull with watermelon liqueur and whiskey, and it's a shot that you're supposed to sip, but I did not sip them, and then I died. But I'm okay now.
Oh, our first cheers.
Our first cheers. Pun pie, my friend.
Clink. Yeah. I don't think we have any special warnings for this episode.
I mean, it's pretty violent. If you don't like violent stuff, I would say back out. I mean, we're not going to show it or anything, but a lot of the... I think when we get to some of the assassins, it gets kind of gruesome.
Yeah.
Bad girl, that stuff was... She kind of... She's a maniac.
She is
very
psycho. Oh yeah, that. But then also, there's a couple raunchier topics.
Yeah.
In this episode.
That's what I was gonna say next. But yeah, I think that's it. Just the sex and the violence.
Let me start us off with the official game summary. Which, fair warning, this one's actually from the Gamestop website because I couldn't find an official summary. So I assume this is the one that's probably on the back of the game.
Oh my god! Do you want me to read the back of the game?
God, case? Yes, please.
All that's standing between Travis Touchdown and the top of the United Assassins Association are the world's 10 best killers. But with his beam katana and the help of a mysterious vixen, he's out to carve a path of destruction and claim his title. And then in small letters it says exclusively for Wii, which isn't that true anymore now, but yeah. But I want to point out that I got these. This was $8.99 with the member price, and this one was $10.79 with the member price at GameStop. And if you look on eBay, these bitches be selling for $40 each. Or
oh my god,
it's crazy. You can't find them, or they're stupid expensive. And I had a panic attack because I thought my mom had given my games away, and I was like, some of those you can't find anymore. Because I have these, and then I have Trauma Center and some other games that are cult cult favorites or whatever, and sell for a lot now, but I found them again, so.
Okay, so jumping into
I'll
the
play it
game summary,
someday.
the one that I found from GameStop's product page, which is different from the one that's on the actual box itself, or the case itself. No More Heroes tells the story of Travis Touchdown, an anime fan who lives in the fictional town of Santa Destroy, California. After an unexpected turn of events, Travis finds himself at the bottom of an assassin's organization. Travis will have to prove himself worthy and defeat 10 other bloodthirsty killers, all with deep stories of their own, to make his way to the top of the Assassin's League. So basically that's kind of the whole general gist of the game, where you literally have to work your way up the ranks to kill, I guess, and just be like the number one assassin in the world.
That's pretty much it. That's the whole game. Yep. We did it. It's over now.
Thank you all for watching.
But yeah, you play as Travis Touchdown, and he's this... Honestly, he's a really terrible person, but that's why I like him as a character.
I mean, low-key, I was like seriously questioning this game as I was watching the playthrough. I was like, this dude is such an asshole. I was like, why do you like him so much? And I think I brought it up to you at one point, and you were just like, oh yeah, he's an asshole. And I'm like, you could have led with that.
He's like a terrible person, total douchebag. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, I really like this game because, okay, it's like the Wii is this family-friendly console that my parents bought me for when I was like 12 or something. Maybe after that, I don't know. But then it's like all I had played before then was Mario and the Donkey Kongs, you know, those little family games. And then all of a sudden you get this. The Wii was just, it was a battlegrounds. Like, however many like crappy Wii games there were so many of them. And that's what I love. I think like it's one of my favorite consoles just because of the random crap that came out on it. But these ones, and then I think Mad World were one of the rated M games that got really big at that time. I'm pretty sure. But I have Mad World too. I haven't played it though, but I have it. Getting into the story of No More Heroes, again, it's just you play as Travis, this douchebag guy, and he wants to be the number one assassin. So there's 10 assassins that you fight in the game, but there's actually 11 listed. The number one being Helter Skelter, who isn't in the game itself, but he was seen in like the trailers. And in No More Heroes 2, you fight his brother, whose name is Skelter Helter. So I don't know. Do with that information what you want. Death Metal is the first boss you fight. When you start the game, it basically just drops you inside of his house, and you just go through, and then there's pretty much all of the boss battles are the same, where you fight your way to the boss battle. There's just like a lot of people coming at you. Their outfits change depending on where you are. Like the number 9 is in a baseball stadium, so the people who come at you wear little baseball uniforms, and they're really cute. But
I will say though that I think number 9 by far was my favorite, I think, out of all the assassins, just purely because his voice actor is the same guy who was Sully in the Uncharted series. Also, he was a really weird, interesting character where he has this whole backstory where he had dinner with his daughter and she hates him, and it was interesting.
Yeah, he just talks at you.
Yeah.
While you're trying to kill him.
Because he's got the grandpa vibes.
He really does. Number 10 is Death Metal, and he's just this weird... He has big hair. He has big red hair. And he uses these like giant cleavers to come at you. His fight is really easy when you're actually playing it, I think, personally. He dies really gruesomely, though. You like behead him, and then his head flies off. The second one, or number 9, I mean, that we were talking about is Dr. Peace. My notes literally just say old man cowboy. So as you're coming up on the stadium, you can hear him like singing and stuff, and that's literally, he wanted to be a singer. I think that's part of his backstory. I don't remember, but he does like talk at you a lot about his like daughter and how they had a fight or whatever. I didn't pay attention to him. He's just an old man cowboy. Number 8 is Shinobu, who is a high school student, and also if you Google Shinobu, No More Heroes, a lot of disturbing art comes up. But anyway, because she is a high schooler anyway.
Okay, so in general, it didn't age well. I think in terms of certain topics. Like, there's quite a bit of misogyny in here, and like that didn't sit right with me.
He's an a-hole.
Yeah, he is. But keeping in mind, it is a product of its time.
Yeah, I think it came out. Is there a thing on this? Is there a thing on this? Is there, by thing I mean year? 2008, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
so,
that's all right.
Came out a while ago. God, I'm old. But anyway, like for every woman character, he always like remarks on what they look like, and then he's like, I can fight you real good or whatever. And then the other character, Sylvia, who I haven't mentioned yet, but...
Yeah, we should probably mention Sylvia. She's kind of a large role in this whole game.
Yeah, Sylvia is this European lady. I don't want to, like, say a country because I don't know, but she's definitely European. She's blonde, really pretty.
Okay, Loki,
and then...
Loki, I thought she was French.
Yeah. What? That is not a French accent. I thought she was German.
Okay, that's why I said Loki. I thought she was French. I also don't know my accents very well, besides, like, anywhere in America and, like, England and Australia.
I really thought she was German. I mean, she could be French. I don't know. But she's definitely, you know, she could also be faking. I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Spoilers?
When we get into the later... we won't say anything else. But she's the one who kind of introduced Travis into this assassin game. And after every kill that he does, she comes out, talks to him. Even before... Oh, what's really cool is before each boss fight, she calls you on the phone. And with the Wiimotes, there was actually a speaker in the Wiimote. So you would have to hold it up to your ear. And, like, she would talk to you through it. But also, if your Wiimote speaker was broken, you're kind of shit out of luck. But most of the time it worked, and you could like hear her on the phone, and it was really cool.
I would say that, so when I was watching the playthrough, because of that feature that it comes out of the Wiimote speakers, I don't actually know what she said during that point. I just know that you get a call right before like the big boss fight.
She always says, like, along the same lines of like, come on Travis, you could do it. Or she like insults him sometimes, which is, that's fair, like he deserves it. But she always says the same thing at the end. She was like, enter the Garden of Madness. And I don't know why, that's just her thing, like her catchphrase or something. She's another wild character. But back to Shinobu, she's a high school student. Travis does let her live once he finds out like how young she is, which is like one of the only good things he does, I think. And Shinobu does come back in the second game as well. But her fight is actually one of the hardest fights in the game. Like, Shinobu, she has this one-hit kill move that I got by a lot of times. Just a lot of times. I really like her, though. She's really cool. Destroy Man is after that. He's this superhero guy that you didn't like.
I didn't like him. I wasn't anticipating on how weird this dude was going to be. I thought it was just going to be the superhero aesthetic, and I didn't actually think that his main fighting style was to fire lasers out of his penis and out of his nipples.
It's like...
I didn't know that was going to be a thing. And so it took me so off guard that I remember I texted you when I was watching it, and I was like, is he fighting with his penis?
Yeah. He's a weird one. He's like really cocky, but he's one of the easier bosses to beat. Like, I remember you just have to like hide behind stuff and then come up and hit him a bunch.
Oh, okay.
After that is Holly Summers, which I'm gonna be honest, is where I got stuck the most often because her fight is really hard, in my opinion, because I like her a lot. Like, she's one of my favorite characters in the game. She just throws grenades at you, and there's like pitfalls. You fight on the beach, so she digs up holes. You fall in them. She throws a grenade in. If you don't get out before the grenade goes off, you're just done. It's not a one-hit kill, but if that happens a lot of times in a row, then it's just over for you. And then she has this other move that I think it can one-hit kill you, or it'll do a lot of damage to you, but the easiest way to dodge it is to fall into a hole. So it's just, you gotta know her tells. I don't know. She's one of the harder ones, I think. I've never really gotten past her. Like, I've played this game a lot, but I usually stop at her because I either can't get past her, or once I do get past her, it's just like, I did it, it's over, and I just put the game down.
I think out of all the boss fights in this game, I think she was my favorite. And I think it was also a really interesting glimpse into Travis's character past his weird asshole gross nature. I think that's kind of where things change a little bit, because she's the only one where she kills herself at the end of this, because he doesn't want to kill her, because he's like, oh, I don't want to kill a woman. And so she basically takes that, throws it in his face, and goes, fuck you, these are the rules, you're supposed to kill me. And so she ends up, I think, killing herself with a grenade.
She puts the grenade in her mouth.
Oh, that's right. And her head blows off. And so
it's like her entire, most of this part of her body.
Yeah. I remember he hugs her the rest of what's left of her, and he tells her he's sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. He's something else.
He is.
And then he like carries her body to Sylvia or something. I don't remember. Something like that.
Yeah, and yeah, I remember that. It was an interesting moment that I thought was maybe partially out of character, but it kind of made sense.
So Let's Shake is this weird guy who Travis basically just walks up to him. He has this giant machine with like a brain in it, and then Let's Shake is the brain? I don't remember.
But this one.
You don't remember Let's Shake? It's like a dude with like a mohawk, and then he has a big machine with like a brain in it. And then he has this entire villain monologue about how he's gonna kill Travis so hard, and then all of a sudden he gets cut in half and he dies.
Oh, this is the dude on the highway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's... Okay.
Yeah.
I remember there was one that he was technically robbed of the kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
that's why I probably didn't remember.
He gets cut in half by someone who is not Travis and introduces himself as Henry. At least I think he introduces himself at that time, but he just like comes out of nowhere, says, I'm Henry, and then he just walks away. And then Travis was angry that he didn't get to kill him himself, but he still gets credited and moves up a rank. After that, it's Harvey Moisovich Volodarsky, who is a magician.
Oh,
and
that was a really weird, interesting boss battle, I think.
He's a magician. I almost said wizard. He's a magician, like a stage musician, a stage magician, like in Vegas or something. And he has like two girls behind him that are his like showgirls. But his way of killing you is by putting you into the different like magician tricks. Yeah. So there's like the box that he shoves you in, and if you don't press the right buttons or something, then he actually kills you. But if you do, then Travis comes out and like makes Harvey look stupid. So it's kind of a fun boss battle. And then I think when you get him to pretty low health, he just starts like I think he just like spins around the stage or something. I don't remember. Something weird. But he is like one of the more interesting ones of the lineup. And that's another thing I really like about this game is just the different characters that they have and how weird and diverse there are, and then just like what characters there are. Like you got a magician, you got a superhero, an old man cowboy, you know, and it shakes it up a bit, especially because like the rest of the gameplay that isn't the killing of the other assassins is pretty mediocre, in my opinion.
I think it falls maybe under dark humor, I'd say, just because it's a good mix of that weird quirkiness of the assassins and their personalities and the actual gritty nature of what you're actually doing. Because I'd feel like if this was a modern day game and you take out the humor part of it, then it's straight up just a game about killing. I mean, there's a lot of games out there that are just about killing, but I think adding the quirkiness of the assassins is what gives the game, like its flavor. It's je ne sais quoi.
That's also like what a lot of the fans, I guess, of this series likes about it is the different assassins, like their different characters. But I think what we can like, Shinobu is really popular, Bad Girl's really popular, and then I've seen some like other fan art for like Holly and stuff. But we all agree, like in the fandom or whatever, we all agree like Travis is our boy. I don't know. It's just something about him. Like he's such an asshole character, but you still gotta love him because he's just stupid. And I don't know. It's something about him, you know.
Is he like one
the
of
stupid hair?
You hate to love him type of characters?
Yeah, I would say so. But it's just like the hair, the jacket. It's iconic. Like his look is iconic. I don't know. After Harvey, it's Speedbuster, which is another assassin that I really, really liked because she is an old lady.
Oh, she's the one with the shopping cart, right? And she has this obnoxiously long gun.
Yeah.
And you just have to like run back and forth between the houses.
So she has a giant laser cannon that charges up and then shoots a giant laser blast like straight down this alleyway. So this is the boss battle that kind of it's the most different from the others, just because that's pretty much all you do is run back and forth, dodging the blasts, and then hitting or like killing all of the minor mini bosses. I don't know what they're called, the little boys. You fight them a bunch, and then there's some pickups you can get. And the way you kill her, actually, you have to disable her cannon because there's no other way to get to her. So you like cut down a telephone pole, and then it causes a domino effect of all the other telephone poles until one eventually falls onto the cannon. And then you just kind of walk up to her and like slice her. So, yeah. I liked her just because she was an old lady, and she was just so different from the other ones that it was really fun.
I think by far she was also really cool. A really interesting one. The thing I remember when I was watching this is that I was thinking about the fact that you have to run back and forth between all the places. I kept thinking to myself, I would have died so many times if I was actually playing this, because I probably would never have figured out how to go back and forth between the houses, because I know you have to keep slashing at the doors until it breaks, and then you go in, and you fight a bunch more people, and then you go out, and then you go to the other side. I swear to God, I probably would have rage quit at that point, and either looked up a cheat on how to do it, or I would have just quit. I would have just kept like running straight down the middle.
I'm just dying. That one is also like, it depends on the different types of doors. So one, you have to do a high attack, and the others you have to do a low attack, and it doesn't tell you which is which, so that would also kind of trip you up. That's another thing, like with the Wiimotes, there were actually high and low movements you could do, which you actually had, like the gameplay is like you weren't so much swinging the Wiimote around like some of the other games at that time. You would just press different buttons like A and B, but you would hold it up high for high attacks and low for low attacks. So it's pretty cool. There's other things you could use the motion controls for, which I think that they did really well, but I'll talk about it later if I remember. Number 2 assassin is Bad Girl. Oh. And you didn't like Bad Girl.
I also did not like Bad Girl. I think because she also caught me a little bit off guard, and also like in general, BDSM is kind of like not my flavor of anything. So I think when I saw that, I think I was just so taken off guard, but at the same time, it made sense for her to be in the game. Another thing that I thought would have been interesting is if she was sort of the same as, what's the superhero dude's name?
Joyman?
Yeah. So if they were the same character, I think, then it would have been, I think, a little bit more amusing. Because his was more ridiculous. Hers was definitely more sexualized. I feel like if they were the same amount of ridiculous, then I kind of would have been more okay with it. But either way. Although I did appreciate that she was knocking men's heads off with a baseball bat, like mood, honestly.
Bad Girl is this blonde, I guess, sexy kind of character, and she wears like this pink dress. It's really, really short, basically your male fantasy. I think I don't know,
probably.
But she lives underneath the baseball stadium that you fought Dr. Peace in previously. She lives there. Like, it's implied that she lives there. She has a couch, she has a refrigerator full of beer, a TV, there's like a little sitting area in there, but at one end of the room is just a conveyor belt where she gets gimps shipped to her.
I think, like, right, yeah. They just like come out on the conveyor belt like a food processor.
It's really weird, and then she just has a little place where she stands, and then she just bops their head off, and then they fall. There's like 2 pits where just piled with bodies. Which I'm like, she doesn't clean that up. Like, does she have a cleaning crew? I don't know. Bad Girl kind of raises a lot of questions for me, because one, who lets her live there? Does she pay rent? I don't know. The mess, also, like, that many bodies, the smell. Who regulates her?
Not to mention the amount of blood that would come out of a body, just lopping their heads off.
Yeah, just all day. Like, that's her hobby, I guess? I don't know. But then the other thing is, like, she's killing these gimps all day, but part of her moves in the fight is, like, the gimps come at you? So do they volunteer for this?
Yeah, that's true. Are they, like, suicidal gimps, or is it a whole other level of dom sub, like, behavior type thing where you're just willing to die?
I don't know. Bad Girl just raises a lot of questions for me. Like, I like her aesthetic, I don't know. She's in a lot of like fan art because of her aesthetic, and I kind of like it. She's cool, but she mainly just raises a lot of questions for me.
Also, like, on the topic of questions, what struck me was really interesting is that Travis has to pay money before every boss fight.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that later.
Which is weird to me, because if you have to pay to be part of this organization to kill people, I feel like what are their day jobs? Like, what do they do besides that? Like, you can't just kill people. You've got to be trust fund baby status or some ridiculous thing like that.
Well, I don't know. We can get into that later. Because it isn't really touched upon. I mean, like, obviously Harvey, he's a magician. I would assume he magicians. He does magic. Also, Destroy Man is like a postman, because before he turns into Destroy Man, he's in a little postman outfit, and he has like a little mail bag.
Oh, I hella thought he was an actor.
Was he an actor? Maybe he was acting as a postman. I don't know. I just remember the postman outfit. And also, I don't remember what... They kind of banter back and forth between the boss battles. I don't remember what they say. So, you might be right.
I just kind of thought he was based on, like, the ridiculousness of his costume And I think they were fighting in some kind of production studio.
It was definitely like a movie set, so you might be right. That would make sense. I don't pay attention to them. I'm just like, I'm here to fight you, and then I'm leaving. So there is technically a third No More Heroes game. Not No More Heroes 3, it's just a third game. It's kind of like a spin-off.
Okay.
And in that game, you can play as Bad Girl's dad. I'm assuming it's after the events in No More Hero 2, but Travis just lives in like a trailer in the desert, and he bought some console called like the Death something or whatever, and he bought it and put it on the TV or whatever, and it's supposed to be the most immersive gaming experience. And then Bad Girl's dad comes to find Travis and kill Travis for killing his daughter. And then they're like fighting it up, but then the game system sucks them into it, so you have to fight your way through the different game worlds. But you can play as Travis or as, I forget his name, but the dad.
Mr.
You
Bad
can
Girl.
fight as the. I want to call him Bad Dad, but I don't think that's right.
Oh, no.
After Bad Girl, there's the number one assassin, who is named Darkstar, and I don't know how to do it without like ruining the plot. Like, anyway, we'll just say number one is Darkstar, even though, and then something happens. Something happens in with Darkstar. So those are the different assassins and kind of our descriptions and thoughts about them. The actual story is very convoluted. You're trying to get to the number one's assassin spot, pretty much basically only on the word of Sylvia, this lady that just popped up one day. And you don't know how Travis met Sylvia, you don't know any of that until pretty much the very, very end game of it.
Yeah, there's a lot that happens at the very end of the game. And it was really interesting because it kind of throws everything at you all at once, and you're just kind of left with a Star Wars moment, which I will say that the whole game has a very Star Wars-y vibe, especially with the fact that Travis's weapon is a beam katana, which is, it's a straight up lightsaber, let's be honest.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Like, it's pretty much the exact plot of Star Wars.
Yep. Does that count?
And that was intentional. It was intentional. I don't know, is it a spoiler? Maybe they haven't seen Star Wars. But it was incredibly intentional.
So spoilers for Star Wars if you haven't seen it?
Yeah, why not? So the bulk of the game is you, as Travis, fighting an assassin, going back to Santa Destroy, and then doing these mediocre tasks to make money. Because every single... Okay, you do get paid by the UAA after every assassin fight, like every boss battle, but it's not enough for you to do the next boss battle. So you have to supplement it, and then there's different jobs that you have to do, like when you have to pick up coconuts and just like take them to the sky, and that's the first job that you unlock. After every one, you can go back and there's usually a new job for you to do. So I remember that one with the coconuts. There's a gas station attendant where you literally just fill up cars with gas. There's one where you have to mow lawns. I was really bad at that one, actually. But you can also, there is like the regular people jobs that you can do, which are those mediocre ones. And then there's the assassin jobs that you can do. So there's a building you go in, you talk to the dude, and then it's basically just like they put Travis, you go to the place, usually like a parking lot or the baseball stadium or something, and you go there, and then just a bunch of dudes come at you and you have to kill them. And sometimes there's a time limit, and then depending how fast you do, you get more money. Or there's like an assassin target, so there's one where there's one dude that you have to kill, and then everyone's trying to stop you from killing that guy, and those give you more money. So you have to do those for you to afford the next assassin's battle, but you can also spend your money on other things. Like there's a clothing shop. There's this lady that gives you upgrades for your beam katana. So she's really good to talk to a lot because you can get really cool upgrades, and some of them look super ridiculous. Like there's one beam katana that has like 4 different sword. Just, it looks dumb. It looks hella dumb. But it's just funny. And then you can get upgrades that charge it faster, hold the charge longer, different upgrades you can get from her. Also, her hair is like goals. Have you... Did you see her?
Mm-mm.
Okay. She's cool. I really like her.
Just the boss battles.
So she's a really cool character. She doesn't really take Travis's shit, and like, I don't know, I like her a lot for it. But she is kind of like the same stylized, like kind of sexualized figure that most of the women in the game are, which sucks, but I still like her. There's also this dude that you can meet at the bar who tells you to go find these balls that are just around town and bring them to him, and then he gives you like different moves that you can do. And this is very blatantly like Dragon Ball. Like you have to get, what is it, 7 balls, 9 balls? I don't know how many Dragon Balls there are, but if you bring him that amount of balls and you give them to him, and then he gives you a move, and then there's 90 something of them, 80 something of them all around the map. So I remember I was playing this game trying to get all the balls. I cheated, but I looked up a map and I was going to get all the balls to get them. There's a gym that you can go to and like beef Travis up a little bit, and then that helps you. I don't know how it helps you, but it helps you. There's another thing, like before every single boss battle, you can find a mask on the ground, and it's like a luchador mask that you can find, and you pick it up and it has a note in it. It basically implies that Travis wanted to be a wrestler before he started to become an assassin, and these notes are written from his old teacher, and they remind him of like the different moves that you can do. So that's part of the Wii remote controls. When you do a particular combo, you can actually perform the wrestling moves on the person you're fighting. And the different ways to perform it are you have to like move the Wii controllers in different ways. Like there's arrows on the screen that shows you which way you have to move your hands, and then that performs a wrestling move. So that's a really cool way that I think they incorporated the Wii motion controls. In the PlayStation 3 version, if you're just using a controller, you just have to move the joysticks to the different arrows. So it's not as fun. But yeah, they still kept that in there. There's trading cards that you can collect. Travis also has an apartment that you can go to, and that's where you can change his wardrobe, because there's dumpsters around the city and you can kick them open, and there's either a shirt that you can find in there or money will come out. So that's another way for you to get money. Just go around kicking dumpsters. But in his apartment, it's pretty weeb.
Yeah, I will say that it is. I've only ever seen a couple apartments that look like that, and it's interesting. They look like they're straight up anime stores, honestly.
It's a lot. Like, he straight up has just shelves full of mecha, these like anime girl figures on one shelf.
I will say though, I don't have like an anime girl on my shelf, but I have one of Levi from Attack on Titan when I was super into Attack on Titan. So I have one of him.
I have many figures. It's getting there, but it's not as bad as like Travis's. It's not that bad. It's getting there though. It's
Are you gonna eventually get one of those figurine shelves?
Another thing is Travis has a cat, a tiny little kitty named Jean, and you can play with her. You didn't know that?
He does?
Yeah.
Also, like, the name of that cat?
Yeah.
We'll get there.
He can lie on the couch and Jean will be on his chest, and you can just, like, make Travis pet her, which is adorable. But, yeah, she's really good. She's a good cat. The other thing it's not important to mention, but I think is fun, is the way that you save, which is you make Travis go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I remember that.
You make him drop trow, and then he just goes to the bathroom, and he's like, he has the appropriate like groans of relief. I don't know. It's really gross.
Appropriate bathroom noises.
Yeah, it pretty much. But that's another thing. Yeah, it's another thing that Sylvia tells you before every boss battle. She makes sure to tell Travis to go to the bathroom. So she's like, have you gone to the bathroom? Have you blah blah blah? Yeah. That's pretty much like most of the game is you running around Santa Destroy, making money and causing mayhem. You think that you're trying to become the #1 assassin, and that's what you're working towards most of the game. As you progress and as you go through the game, the calls that you get from the Assassins Association start getting more and more frantic and just like curt, and they're pretty much just like, give us some money right now, like as soon as possible, give us some money. And then once you get towards the end, Sylvia actually gives you a phone number that Travis can call, and he doesn't know who it is. It's just a woman's voice, and she's like, who is this? And he's like, this is Travis. Sylvia gave me this number. And then the woman gets like, she gasps and is just like, she's done it again, hasn't she? And Travis is like, what are you talking about? And it's actually Sylvia's mom who tells Travis that Sylvia is a con artist who consistently gets random unsuspecting people and just rings them out for money. And apparently her scam this time was bamboozling Travis into thinking that he was going to become the #1 assassin.
Can we just pause for a moment and talk about Sylvia and the way that she does this? Because throughout the entire game, you kind of think she's this ditzy girl and she's just in charge of handing out assignments, and that's all that she does. And it's kind of evidenced based on the way that she acts, like her behavior, where she's just getting a massage or she purposefully leads Travis on. But can we just stop to appreciate how fucking smart she is? Because not only is she like manipulating Travis, but she manipulated at least 11 other people, because he had to work his way up this totem pole, right? And for all of these people to be successful assassins, that's like a whole other level of, I don't know what it is, but just a whole level of like mastermind.
Of how deep it goes.
Yep.
Yeah. So Travis finds out that Sylvia is conning him, and you don't know why until the very final battle with Darkstar. In the middle, so Darkstar has this entire monologue about that he says to Travis, where he basically says, I'm your father, like the Darth Vader trope or whatever. And then Travis like completely believes it until halfway through this guy's monologue. He also gets cut in half, and then this girl just comes out, and you don't know who she is, and she just says that her name is Jean, and she is the one who asked Sylvia to do this so she could get her revenge on Travis. And then they have this she's talking to Travis. Travis wants to know why she's done this. And then in the game itself, she's like, okay, I'll tell you, but we have to fast forward this part. So in the game, it fast forwards through their conversation, and all you see is like Travis's reactions, where he's just like doing all these weird, like exaggerated motions. Someone did slow down that part so you can actually see what Jean says to Travis. And basically what she says is that Jean is Travis's half-sister, and they have the same father. Their father molested Jean and caused Jean's mother to kill herself. After leaving Jean alone, Jean was then forced into prostitution to get funds for assassin training, as she wanted revenge for what her father did to her. She ends up killing Travis's parents in front of him, which we can assume led to his trauma and the fact that he has no memories of any of this happening. There's also something else, which I don't get it, but the guy from earlier, Henry, also is mentioned as being Sylvia's husband, and his name is Henry Cooldown, and he is also Travis's brother.
Twin brother, I think.
But he has, like, twin brother. Yeah. Travis's twin brother, but he has an Irish accent because, yeah, why not? So he's married to Sylvia, and then he's trying to help Jean also get revenge on Travis for some reason. Because, I don't know, why not? And that is the plot. Basically, you have to fight Jean. She fights with her bare hand, just badass. He, like, kills Jean, right? He definitely does.
He does.
Yeah, he kills Jean. Sylvia, like, congratulates him or something, and he's just like, oh, I guess that's over, because he now knows that it was a con the whole time. And then it basically just goes into a cutscene after the credits. You can only unlock it sometimes. Anyway, there's a secret fight, but Travis is on the toilet. A dude busts in saying how he wants to become the number one assassin.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then Travis has no way to defend himself, and then from behind that dude, Henry comes out and, like, slices the dude in half, and then that's a secret. That's where it ends, I think, unless you did something in the game that triggers the secret fight, and then you can actually fight Henry. That's a secret fight.
You end up fighting him, but you don't actually get to finish that. It kind of just, like, ends where they're still fighting, and so you're kind of left wondering what the hell, and then there's obviously a second game, so you know that Travis gets out of it somehow.
It's a weird game. It doesn't make any sense. The plot is all over the place, but it's fun.
I will say that it's really interesting, and I kind of enjoyed their choice in music. It felt very aesthetic-y to a sense of, it felt very 8-bit, but at the same time it felt modern at the same time. Also, that in the graffiti that they did to introduce all the characters, that I thought was really cool. There's
a lot of little things that just makes the game stay with you. Like, the music is definitely some of them. I had the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. That was my ringtone for the longest time.
Nice.
And then, like, the little do-do-do-do it does when you charge up the beam katana. That was my notification.
Nice.
Bell for a while. Also, like, before each boss battle, when that graffiti comes up, it does this weird whisper thing.
Oh, and it's the name of
the name of the boss that you're about to fight. Like, that's also a really cool touch.
Low-key, when I heard that for the first time, I thought there was somebody in the room with me because I didn't know it was going to do that. So I low-key freaked out because I was like, oh my god, there's another voice here, and then realized it was my computer playing the music of the boss battle.
So there's a fictional anime that Travis really likes in the game, and he names his, like, special moves after the different moves of the anime characters in it. So, actually, I was looking at it. I didn't remember until I was looking at the stupid manual. Strawberry on the shortcake, blueberry cheese brownie, cranberry chocolate sundae, and these are all his, like, weird special moves. So, like, if you defeat an enemy in a certain way, it's like a little casino machine, was a slot machine, there we go. And if you get 3 of whichever of the icons, then that triggers dark side mode, and depending on which icon you got, it does these different moves. And they're all named after, like, these weird moves in that anime that he really likes, which is really funny. I think another reason why a lot of people, we kind of, like, we're obviously not as douchebaggy as Travis is. The fact that he is kind of like this weird normal guy who just likes anime a lot really kind of endeared him to a lot of people.
Fair.
If he wasn't such a douchebag, I would be his friend.
I mean, same though. Low-key same. Because I had a few friends in high school that were pretty much Travis except for the douchebag part. As I was doing a little bit of research on this game, there was quite a bit of trivia that I found about it, which I thought was very, very, very amusing. A lot of them were inappropriate, but there's a couple also that were interesting as far as, like, game development, which the first one would be, so the creator Suda51, his favorite film is Paris, Texas, and so there's a character I think it's the main character who's named Travis, and that's why Travis is named who he is, which I thought was a really, really interesting touch. And I also kind of like it when you get to see video game creators sort of let their real lives bleed into the characters. And it gives them an element of humanity, I think.
Another trivia on your trivia. Suda51 is actually his name, like the actual creator's name, backwards. Because 5 and 1 in Japanese is Goichi, and his name is Goichi Suda.
Oh.
I think that's right. I think I remember that being correct.
That's actually really cool. So here's a couple like really inappropriate ones that are on this trivia list. We're about to learn a new word today too. So you can so in the game, it's heavily implied that Travis really likes watching porn. And it's due to the fact that you get to hear his voicemails, and they're all from this universe's version of Blockbuster.
It's called Beefhead.
Beefhead, yeah. Which I think is hilarious. Also, speaking of Blockbuster, I found my Blockbuster card the other day. I still have one. That's how old I am. But you get to find out his favorite type of porn. I believe it's pronounced bukkake. Fun fact, here's where we're going to learn a new word. And the Tagalog word that sounds very similar is bukaka, and that literally means to like spread your legs. Fun fact.
Interesting. I like that. That's fun. That's a good word.
But yeah. Oh, and then here's the other line of inappropriate trivia. According to Suda51, during an IGN interview, Travis lost his virginity at a party where he screwed one of his mom's friends. Or his friend's mom.
But
I said that so wrong.
One of his mom's friends. One of his mom's friends!
His mom's dead, sorry. One of his friends is mom. Mom's? Mom. Singular. I mean, going down the line of Travis's personality at 100% makes sense about who he is.
That thing that they do with the voicemail from Beefhead, it's like funny at first, but they just run with it so long that it just gets old. It gets kind of annoying, but it's also like you go through, the lady calling also gets annoyed with him because I feel like she recognizes his name now and is just like fed up. That bit kind of went on too long, I think.
Yeah, that was fair. I do love that she kept getting annoyed as the game progressed.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I'm just trying to do my job, man.
Yeah, she's just like, return it now, thanks. And then just like hangs up, which is really funny. It's a good game. I recommend it. If you have a Wii, I would recommend trying to find it on the Wii, even though it might be a lot of money. It's also fun just like going down eBay listings and seeing how much things cost.
That's true. I remember you were telling me that there's a Sylvia figurine. I think you said that's like $3.
Yeah, there's a very, very, very suggestive Sylvia figurine that I still kind of want, but it's like $300+ on like eBay. It's wild. I'm hoping that No More Heroes 3 is supposed to be coming out at the end of this year, and I'm hoping that'll get more people into the franchise. I'm also like fingers crossed that they're going to port it to Switch, because the Switch does have really good motion controls, so it would definitely be a good fit. Like, even if they ported them and then made like a trilogy where you could buy all 3 or something, that would be really fun.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm really excited about it. It looks incredibly different from the other 2 games. Like, if you look at the trailer, Travis is fighting aliens. It's weird, but I'm really excited for it.
All right.
Thanks for watching this episode of Cocktails and Controllers. If you want to see what we're going to drunkenly talk about next, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. For now, we'll do our big cheers, our last one of the night.
Big cheers.
Kanpai.
Bye.